Hello and welcome to the Baron's Game Room. I'm here as always, and I think this is the game I said the least about in my video last week. I think I pretty much just said I like it, so I felt like it should be the first one I should do an in-depth video on. In the Connect 4 card game, 2 to 4 players compete to be the first player to complete 4 mission cards. Setup for this game is super simple. You're going to shuffle up the smaller stack of cards and place them in the center of the table. Take the top one and place it out in the center of the play area to start, and you'll also shuffle up the larger cards, the mission cards, and then deal every player 2 of those. Make sure you keep those secret. Now, there's not a whole lot to this game, so I'm going to teach you the rules straight from the book, as well as some of the optional rules they have in there, because personally I like the optional rules better. Regular gameplay says on your turn you're going to draw the top card of the tile deck and you're going to add it to the play area. It must connect fully to at least one side of another card. It can touch multiple, but you cannot do diagonals, you cannot do like halvesy attach, and you can't do some sort of weird like turning a card or something like that. It's got to fully connect to at least one side or more of the other cards. After playing a tile down on the table, regardless of whose turn it is, all players will check to see if any of their mission cards have been completed. For example, right now, even though these players might not be the ones actively playing down the tile, this player has the 4 in a row, and this player has the L-shaped 4 in a row, both completed. And get to score those cards by placing them face up in front of them, and then drawing new mission cards to keep secret in their hands. Now, a few more rules about the mission cards. Whereas you can score your missions on someone else's turn, you cannot score for a previously existing pattern. So if you end up drawing a card and that pattern's already on the table, that doesn't count. You have to build that pattern again to be able to score that card. And if 2 people happen to score their final mission on the same turn, then whoever actually played that tile is the one who gets it. There are 3 types of mission cards. You can have either the L-shaped, which doesn't really matter how the orientation is as long as it has 3 and then 1 off to the side. You can have the cube shape, or you can have the standard 4 in a row, which can be either horizontal or vertical, does not matter as long as you have the classic 4 in a row. And all of these mission cards can be in all 4 colors of red, yellow, purple, and green. Now, we're not quite done yet, because you may have noticed this little blank spot here, and there are other special spaces as well. There are spaces like the wild space, which counts as all 4 colors. You can also have these special action ones, rotate, plus, and minus. Anytime you play a tile down that has one of these 3 symbols on there, you can take the extra action for free before you check for missions. You play the rotate tile down, you are allowed to rotate any tile on the table as long as it is not completely surrounded by other tiles. So you can pick any one of these and rotate it to any other side and attach it back to the board. When you have the plus icon here, that means you can play this card on top of any other tile on the table here, but it has to fully cover up one tile. You can't half it or something like that. It has to fully cover up one tile is a proper way to play it. Last, we have the minus icon. Whenever you play this one down to the table, it means you can actually pick up any other tile and return it to the bottom of the deck. Now, it does not say this, but we tend to have a house rule that you cannot make the board state illegal, such as you could not remove this one because it officially makes it where this card is not attached to a full side, like is a legal play. And that is all the base rules for the Connect 4 card game. First player to collect 4 mission cards is the winner, but I still want to talk about some of the optional rules they have in there because I actually think they add to the game and make it better. One optional rule you can have is to play with open missions. Instead of players keeping their mission cards secret from everyone, they are played face up on the table so everyone knows what all the players are trying for. It can make it a little more difficult to actually complete your missions when players know how to stop you. The other option I really like is that instead of just drawing the top part of the stack and playing each turn, you actually draw 2 from the top of the stack and you pick one to play. Play one of them down to the board, and the other one just gets discarded off to the side. And anytime the deck runs out, you'll shuffle the discard pile and just flip it back over. The video's already going on longer than I thought it would, so I'll try and make this quick. My thoughts and opinions on it are, I like it a lot. I love when a game finds a way to make more players than the original. Connect 4 is obviously a 2-player game standard, and this one lets it go to 4. More players is pretty much always going to be better with me. you know, the original game's a fun little drop it in, you know, see if you can line it up, tic-tac-toe-esque kind of game. And this one being played down the table and all that, more places to put stuff. There's so much more strategy and thought that goes into this one than the regular game. So totally, whereas Connect 4 is going to be great for your little 4-year-old nephew or whatever like that, niece, nephew. This one I feel is just so much of a better family game. As your kids get older, if you think back fondly on Connect 4, get this game. It's just the better version of it for anyone who's older and all that, for any adult playing the game. I was happily surprised with this one. You know, as soon as I realized what was going on with it, I was like, oh, that's interesting, and immediately loved the extra players, loved the strategy of it all. I think the optional rules add even more thinking and strategy to it. It's just an all-around positive for me. It can be thinky and strategic enough for adults. It can be easy enough for kids. I absolutely have to say that the Connect 4 card game is Baron approved.